आप सबका स्वागत है. At the outset, I would request Honorable Speaker to present Honorable Governor Saab with a memento as an expression of gratitude. ਹੁਣ मैं मानयोग स्पीकर साहब ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਜਸਟਿਸ JS ਖੇਰ ਸਾਬਕਾ ਚੀਫ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦਗਾਰੀ ਚਿੰਨ੍ਹ ਨਾਲ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕਰਨ. ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੈਪਟਨ ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦਗਾਰੀ ਚਿੰਨ੍ਹ ਭੇਟ ਕਰਨ. ਹੁਣ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਚੀਮਾ ਨੇਤਾ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਧਿਰ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦਗਾਰੀ ਚਿੰਨ੍ਹ ਭੇਟ ਕਰਨ. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ. ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੀ CM ਪੰਜਾਬ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦਗਾਰੀ ਚਿੰਨ੍ਹ ਭੇਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਨਮਾਨਿਤ ਕਰਨ.
हिंद दी चादर नौवीं पातशाही श्री गुरु तेग बहादुर जी की शहादत नूं नमन करदियां मैं अज श्री गुरु तेग बहादुर जी के 400 साला प्रकाश पुरब नूं समर्पित पंजाब विधान सभा के विशेष इजलास विच अपने अति जरूरी रजेवियां विचों समां कढ के विशेष तौर ते शामिल होने लई पहुंचे मानयोग राजपाल पंजाब महामहिम श्री बनवारी लाल पुरोहित जी, पंजाब के मानयोग मुख मंत्री कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह जी, मानयोग साबका चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया जस्टिस JS खेर जी, पंजाब विधान सभा विच विरोधी धिर दे नेता सरदार हरपाल सिंह चीमा जी, हाजर मानयोग मैंबर पार्लीमेंट ते होर सारियां उगियां शख्सियतां दा स्वागत करदा हाँ जिन्हां ने अपने अति जरूरी रुझेवियां विचों समां कढ के पंजाब विधान सभा के इस विशेष समागम का हिस्सा बनने लई साडे सद्दे नूं कबूल कीता है. इस पवित्र सदन के हाजर मानयोग मैंबर साहिबान का भी मैं दिल दीआं गहराइयां तो स्वागत खैर मकदम करदा हाँ. मैं समझदा हाँ कि असीं बहुत खुशकिस्मत हाँ कि साडे सारियां दे जीवन काल विच ये विलक्षण मौका आया है अते असीं सारे इतिहास के एक महत्वपूर्ण अध्याय का हिस्सा बन जा रहे हाँ. अज बहुत ही खुशी वाले पल माण वाले पल हैं जदों असीं श्री गुरु तेग बहादुर जी के प्रकाश पुरब की चौथी शताब्दी नूं समर्पित विधान सभा का विशेष सैशन आयोजित कर रहे हाँ. मैनूं पूर्ण रूप में उम्मीद है कि अज के विशेष सैशन विच गुरु साहब वालों दत्ते फलसफे उत्ते अगांह तुरन की एक नवी चेतना मिलेगी. ये उद्यम धर्म जात रंग भेद फिरके ते नस्लों तो उपर उठ के सानू मनुखता की भलाई लई सांझी वालता के संदेश लई सार्थक साबित होवेगा. पंजाब सरकार का यह सुपना कि श्री तेग बहादुर जी के 400 साला प्रकाश पुरब पूर्ण उत्साह नाल श्री अनंदपुर साहब की धरती उत्ते विश्व पद्धरी समागम करके मनाया जाता जिस दियां तैयारियां भी ਕਰ ਲਈਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਸਨ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਮਾਗਮਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਸੇ ਕਰੋਨੇ ਦੀ ਮਾਰ ਪਈ ਜਿਸ ਨੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਭਰ ਨੂੰ ਝੰਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵਰਚੁਅਲ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਵਧਾਈ ਦੀ ਪਾਤਰ ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਰਚੁਅਲ ਸਮਾਗਮਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਸਨੇਹ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੀ ਝੋਲੀ ਭਰੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇ ਪੂਰਕ ਹਨ, ਜੋ ਸਿਧਾਂਤਕ ਤੇ ਵਿਵਹਾਰਿਕ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਧਾਰਨ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਡਰ ਤੇ ਪਰਉਪਕਾਰੀ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਸਹਾਈ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਤੋਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿਵਹਾਰ ਤੋਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤ ਵਾਲੇ ਨਵੇਕਲੇ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਗਿਆਨ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਸੂਰਜ ਉਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਪਿਆ ਡਰ ਦਾ, ਹੰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਬਰ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਸਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਹਨੇਰਾ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਕ ਸੱਚ ਲਈ ਖੜਨ ਅਤੇ ਅਨਿਆਂ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਲੜਨ ਯੋਗ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਜਨਮਿਆ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਚੱਕ ਨਾਨਕੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਵਸਾਇਆ। ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਰੁਤਬਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਉੱਚਾ ਅਤੇ ਸੁੱਚਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਮਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਗਰੀ ਦੀ ਸਥਾਪਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਉੱਤੇ ਚੱਕ ਨਾਨਕੀ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀਤੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਤੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਣਾ ਲੈਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹਰ ਸ਼ਖਸ ਇੰਜ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਅੰਗ ਸੰਗ ਹੋਣ। ਇਸੇ ਪੈਮਾਨੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਣ ਵੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਫਕਰ ਵੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਵੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਵਸਾਈ ਨਗਰੀ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੋਂ ਬਤੌਰ ਵਿਧਾਇਕ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਮਾਣ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਲਕੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਨਗਰੀ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਕੀਰਤਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਦੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਨਮ ਭੂਮੀ ਵੀ ਹੈ, ਵਿਖੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 9 ਵਰ੍ਹੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਬਿਤਾਏ। ਮੁਗਲ ਸਲਤਨਤ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਲਤਾੜੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਅਤੇ ਜਬਰੀ ਧਰਮ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਤੋਂ ਦੁਖੀ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰੀ ਪੰਡਤ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਰਾਮ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਅਗਵਾਈ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਲਈ ਫਰਿਆਦ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆਏ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਤਿਲਕ ਜੰਜੂ ਰਾਖਾ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਤਾਕਾ ਦੇ ਸੰਕਲਪ ਨੂੰ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵੱਲ ਕੂਚ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਮੁਗਲ ਸਲਤਨਤ ਨੂੰ ਵੰਗਾਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਝੁਕਣ ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰੀ ਪੰਡਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਫਰਿਆਦ ਤੇ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਲਈ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਧਰਮ ਹੋਤ ਸਾਕਾਰ ਜਿਨ ਕੀਆ, ਸੀਸ ਦੀਆ ਪਰ ਸਿਰ ਨ ਦੀਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਲਾਮਿਸਾਲ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰੀ ਪੰਡਤਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਲਈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬਲਕਿ ਸਮੁੱਚੀ ਮਾਨਵਤਾ ਲਈ, ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਲਈ ਅਤੇ ਬਰਾਬਰੀ ਲਈ ਸੀ। ਇਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਰੰਗਰੇਟੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੇ ਬੇਟੇ ਭਾਈ ਜੈਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਘੋਰ ਅੰਧਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਾਨ ਦੀ ਪਰਵਾਹ ਨਾ ਕੀਤੇ ਬਗੈਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੀਸ਼ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ। ਮੈਂ ਭਾਈ ਲੱਖੀ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਬਣਜਾਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਧੜ ਦਾ ਸੰਸਕਾਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗ ਲਗਾ ਕੇ ਕੀਤਾ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਧਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੰਜਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਪਰੰਪਰਾ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧਾਇਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਭੈ ਅਤੇ ਹਿੰਸਾ ਦੇ ਵਰਤਾਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦੀ ਸਿਰਜਣਾ ਦੇ ਸੰਕਲਪ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਵੰਗਾਰਿਆ। ਭੈ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੋ ਦੇਤ ਨਾਹੀ, ਨਾ ਹੀ ਭੈ ਮਾਨਤਾਨ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਸਮਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਵਰਤਾਰਾ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਅੰਨਦਾਤਾ ਫਰਿਆਦੀ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਲੋਕਤੰਤਰ ਦੇ ਵਰਤਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਨਾ ਸੁਣੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੂਬਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੇਸ਼, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੌਮ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਤੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਨਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੁਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚਾਨਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਮਿਸਾਲਾਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅਗਾਂਹ ਵਧਦੇ ਹਨ, ਉਹ ਹਨੇਰਗਰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਲੱਭ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਉਸ ਰੋਸ਼ਨੀ ਨੂੰ, ਉਸ ਸੱਚੇ ਸੁੱਚੇ ਚਾਨਣ ਨੂੰ, 9ਵੀਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਟਨ ਕੋਟ ਨਮਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਮੁੱਚੀ ਲੁਕਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ 400 ਸਾਲਾ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਪੁਰਬ ਤੇ ਹਾਰਦਿਕ ਵਧਾਈ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। With these words, I again extend a hearty welcome to Honorable Governor of Punjab and Tamil Nadu, Shri Banwari Lal Purohit ji, Honorable former Chief Justice of India, Justice J.S.K. Ayer ji, and all the dignitaries present in the August House who have all been very fortunate to be part of this once in a lifetime event. मैं आप सब ਨੂੰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ 400ਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਪੁਰਬ ਦੀਆਂ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੁਭਕਾਮਨਾਵਾਂ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਆਖਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਗੇ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਦਲਾਈ ਲਾਮਾ ਜੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜੀ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਕਨਵੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਜੋ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਹੈ। Your Excellency, thank you very much for your invitation for me to join a special session of the Punjab Vidhan Sabha that is being convened on 3rd September to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the birth of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the 9th Sikh Guru. I understand that his writings, as well as his principled and disciplined way of life, remain a deep source of inspiration. I have long cherished a deep admiration for the Sikh tradition, especially in its dedication to the service of others and in its efforts to create an inclusive community. The world needs this kind of vigor. Your Excellency, I am most grateful to you for your kind invitation to join you in the celebration. However, due to the preoccupations we need to observe during these times of COVID-19 pandemic, I shall not be able to attend. In fact, over the last 18 months, on the advice of my physicians, I have been confined to my residence. I hope you will understand. ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਦਲਾਈ ਲਾਮਾ ਜੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਾਮਨਾਵਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਹਨ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਉਪ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਐਮ ਵੈਂਕਈਆ ਨਾਇਡੂ ਜੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਕਨਵੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਜੋ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਹੈ। Thank you very much for extending an invitation to address the special session of the Punjab Vidhan Sabha on September 3, 2021, convened to commemorate the 400th Prakash Purv celebrations of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Please accept my warmest greetings to you and all the members of Punjab Vidhan Sabha on this auspicious occasion. I am certain that the rich cultural heritage bequeathed to us by the revered Guru will provide the much needed sense of direction to all of us and enable us to lead peaceful, fulfilling lives. ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਉਪ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਐਮ ਵੈਂਕਈਆ ਨਾਇਡੂ ਜੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਾਮਨਾਵਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਹਨ। ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਬੜੇ ਆਦਰ ਤੇ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਚੀਫ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਆਨਰੇਬਲ ਜਸਟਿਸ JS ਖੇ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਅਵਸਰ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਲਸਫੇ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਚਾਨਣਾ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨ।
Honorable Governor of Punjab, Shri Banwari Lal Purohit ji, Honorable the Chief Minister of Punjab, Capt. Amarinder Singh ji, Honorable Speaker of the Punjab Vidhan Sabha, Rana KP Singh ji, Deputy Speaker Sardar Ajab Singh Bhatti ji, the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Shri Brahm Mohindra ji, the Leader of the Opposition Sardar Harpal Singh Cheema ji, distinguished legislators of the Punjab Vidhan Sabha, guests, ladies and gentlemen. The Sikh Ardas, ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ, the Sikh Ardas is repeated several times every day. Over the entire country, where there are thousands of gurdwaras, and all over the world, not once a day, but several times a day. Amritdhari Sikhs, even in their houses, recite the 5 banis every single day. And if after reciting the banis, they repeat the ardas. So the ardas is repeated tens of thousands of times every single day. It has been repeated year after year for hundreds of years. The Sikh Ardas gives us a description of the Bhagautis. This description in the Ardas was composed by none other than the 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Let us see what the Ardas says about the 10 Sikh Gurus. प्रथम भगौती सिमर के गुरु नानक लई त्याए, फिर अंगत गुर ते अमरदास रामदासे होए सहाय। अर्जुन हर गोबिंद नो सिमरो श्री हर राय, श्री हर कृष्ण त्याइए, जिस डिठे सब दुख जाए। तेग बहादुर सिमरिए, कर नौनिद आवे ताए, सब थाई होए सहाय। 10वां पातशाह श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहब जी सब थाई होए सहाय। 10 पातशाहियां दी जोत श्री गुरु ग्रंथ सिंह साहब जी दे गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी दे पाठ दीदार दा ध्यान धर के बोलो जी वाहिगुरु वाहिगुरु वाहिगुरु। This is how the Sikh remembers his 10 gurus every day, and a number of times every day. But how do we remember Guru Tegh Bahadur? With reference to Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, the Ardas notes, Tegh Bahadur Simriye, Kar Naunid Ave Tae, Sab Thai Hoye Sahai. So I'm going to break this into 2 parts. First part, Tegh Bahadur Simriye, Kar Naunid Ave Tae. What does it mean? By reflecting on and by contemplating on Guru Tegh Bahadur, one can achieve all the 9 spiritual and worldly sources of wealth. That is the reference to Guru Tegh Bahadur. Tegh Bahadur Simriye, Kar Naunid Ave Tae. Just by remembering him, just by contemplating him, you can bring home all the 9 spiritual and worldly sources of wealth. But it goes further. The Ardas further says, Sab thai hoye sahai. Those who contemplate Guru Tegh Bahadur would have his assistance at all times and at all places. Sab thai hoye sahai. That is the significance which the 10th Guru had in his mind when he composed the Ardas describing Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. I feel all of us, and more than all of us, me, are blessed today on the occasion of the 400th Prakash Purab of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, just because we are assembled to remember and contemplate and reflect on the ninth Guru. This is what the Ardas says. If you do this, this is what you will get. It is therefore that I thank you all for having given me this opportunity to be with you in this reflection. The first few Sikh Gurus were exclusively engaged in spreading the spiritual message of the Sikh faith. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਸਿਰਫ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਸੀ, ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ। To understand how the personality of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji developed into what he eventually turned out to be, the story of the ninth Guru must start with the martyrdom of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who was also his grandfather. We all know that Guru Arjan Dev Ji was detained by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir, and he was severely tortured. He was seated on a tatti tavi, a hot metal plate, and his captors poured burning sand over his body. We all know this. After 5 days and nights of this torture, Guru Arjan Dev Ji sought permission to take a bath. He was permitted to bathe in a nearby river. When he went to bathe, he slipped into the water, never to be seen again, never to be found again. This was the first martyrdom by a Sikh Guru. But it changed the course of the Sikh religion thereafter. For the first time, after Guru Arjan Dev Ji's martyrdom at the hands of the Mughals, the Sikh Panth got together. They united as one. They started to unite as one. After his father met with this fate at the hands of the Mughals, Guru Har Gobind Ji initiated the process of militarization of the Sikhs. This is the first time that from a purely spiritual, religious community, the process of militarization was initiated. At the time of his inauguration, at the inauguration of Guru Har Gobind Ji to the Guru Gaddi, he wore 2 kirpans. 2 swords symbolized the dual concept of Miri and Piri. Thereafter, alongside their spiritual pursuits, Sikhs started to ready themselves against the tyranny of the Mughals. It is this background which is important to understand what Guru Tegh Bahadur eventually turned out to be. Guru Tegh Bahadur was born in 1621 as Tyagaman. He was the 5th and youngest son of the Guru. So far as his spiritual journey is concerned, He was brought up and raised at Amritsar, which was the center of the Sikh faith. But Tyagamal, right from his early childhood, was taught, and he then later learnt the Vedas, Upanishads, and the Puranas. With all this knowledge and a great habit, it is said of him that he preferred prolonged spells of seclusion for contemplation. उन्होंने अच्छा लगता सी अकेले रहना और अपना सोच विचार करना, उन्होंने ये पसंद सी. With this learning and deep spiritual understanding, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji contributed 59 shabads, 57 shloks, and 15 rags to the Guru Granth Sahib. This is the spiritual treasure which he has left for us, which we have enjoyed for 400 long years, and which will be enjoyed by the generations to come till eternity. Not only him, his Bhagats are also credited with composing 782 shabads which find place in the Sikh Bani. But besides the spiritual and the religious aspect of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, there was another aspect of his life. He was trained in archery and horse riding by none other than Baba Buddha Ji himself. And his own father, Guru Hargobind Ji, trained him in swordsmanship. He turned out to be a young, brave boy. When Tyagamal was 13 years old, he insisted upon his father that he should be taken to battle with him. He wanted to go to battle with his father. He went to battle with his father at the age of 13. Their village had been attacked by Pinde Khan and the Mughals. That's what the story is. The battle was fought over Shah Jahan's hawk. Shah Jahan de baaz de utte ladai hui. The Sikhs won the battle. When the victorious Sikhs were returning from the battlefield, they reveled on the bravery and the heroics of Tyagamal. It is at this stage, at the age of 13, recognizing the abilities on the battlefield of Tyagamal, that his father decided to change his name to Tegh Bahadur. The valiant soldier, the brave soldier. When Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji occupied the Guru Gaddi, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb was on a rampage. He was on a rampage of converting Hindus to Islam. Those who did not agree were tortured and killed. मैं ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾਮ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਨਾਮ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਨਵਰਜਨਸ ਹੋਈਆਂ, ਜੋ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਸਲਾਮ ਅਪਣਾਇਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਇਸ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰ ਤੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਲੋਕ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਹਿੰਦੂ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਵੀ, ਭੱਟ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਕੌਲ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਰਾਇਨਾ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਧਰ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਟਿੱਕੂ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਸਪਰੂ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਵਾਨੀ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ, ਰਾਜਦਾਨ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ। ਇਹ ਸਭ ਉਹ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਇਸਲਾਮ ਅਪਣਾ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਬਣੇ। When this tyranny was at its peak, a group of Kashmiris, Hindu leaders from Kashmir, as the Honorable Speaker introduced in his speech, came to meet Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And they asked him to intercede on their behalf to the Emperor Aurangzeb. It was clear to Guru Tegh Bahadur that going to Aurangzeb would mean his certain death. But when he conferred with his son and his son approved, he was so happy because he himself was agreeable to intervene on behalf of the Hindu leaders of Kashmir and speak to Emperor Aurangzeb. But the fact that he was sure that he would not come back alive is clear from two things. First, before going to meet the emperor, he nominated his son, Gobind Rai, as his successor. Gobind Rai was just 9 years old at that time. So he was so sure that he would not come back alive. And the second thing that he did, he wrote a little message. And he gave that message to the Sikhs to be delivered to the emperor after his death. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, along with some Sikhs including Bhai Mati Das, Bhai Sati Das and Bhai Dyala Ji, went to meet the emperor. When they met the emperor, the Guru made a proposal to him. He said to the emperor, if you are successful in converting me, all the Hindu leaders and all their followers will accept Islam. But if you fail to convert me, then you should let the Hindus live in peace. Of course, this proposal was not acceptable to Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb then made a counter proposal to Guruji. Aurangzeb said, you are a guru. You have affinity with God. Perform a miracle, and I will not convert you. We all know, as myth goes, Guruji was very competent to perform a miracle. He performed the miracle when he was declared Guru Ladore, Guru Ladore. It was a miracle that made people realize that he was the successor Guru. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji declined to perform a miracle. He told Aurangzeb, the possession of occult powers does not necessarily prove your affinity or your close proximity with God. When Aurangzeb realized that the Guru was adamant, the Guru and the Sikhs were tortured. Bhai Mati Das was sworn into pieces. आर्या नाल चराए गए. Bhai Diyala was thrown into a huge pot of boiling liquid. He was boiled to death. His younger brother, Bhai Satidas, was wrapped in cotton wool and burned to death. All these tortures were performed and carried out in the presence of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, with the hope that he would relent and convert to Islam. When he did not agree to convert to Islam, Aurangzeb ordered that he be beheaded. Guru Tegh Bahadur was taken to Chandri Chowk, and before a massive crowd, right in front of the gates of the Red Fort, with one stroke, his head was severed from his body. He died, obviously. What happened, the Honorable Speaker has told you. But then, that message he had written to be delivered to the emperor after his death was delivered to the emperor, there was a very simple little note for the emperor. It told the emperor, this is the greatest miracle of all, that I gave my head but not my faith. So even in his death, even before his death, even though he could perform miracles, he chose not to. He chose to fight for the religious cause. I started with the Ardas when I started to speak to you. After my retirement, I have been very enamored by the Ardas. And I will again refer to the Ardas in describing the events that took place, which I have already spoken to you about. The Ardas, of course, refers to the 10 Gurus. It invites every Sikh's attention to the 10 Gurus, because they were Gurus, because they imparted spirituality to us. It also refers to the Panch Pyaras, the Char Sahibzadas, and the Chali Muktas. It reminds us of them all the time. But then there is a very interesting part of the Ardas which moves me and reminds me of what sacrifices were done for us. This is how it goes. जिन्ना ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਸਿੰਘਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਧਰਮ ਹੇਤ ਸੀਸ ਦਿੱਤੇ, ਬੰਦ ਬੰਦ ਕਟਾਏ, ਖੋਪਰੀਆਂ ਲੋਹਾਈਆਂ, ਚਰਖੜੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਚੜੇ, ਆਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਚਰਾਏ ਗਏ, ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀਆਂ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ। But not just this. Not ਸੀਸ ਦਿੱਤੇ, ਬੰਦ ਕਟਾਏ, ਖੋਪਰੀਆਂ ਲਵਾਈਆਂ, ਚਰਖੜੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਚੜੇ, ਆਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਚਰਾਏ ਗਏ, ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ। Not just this. ਧਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਸਿੱਖੀ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਸਵਾਸਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਿਭਾਈ। ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਧਰ ਕੇ ਬੋਲੋ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ। So, when we remember Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, we don't remember him only because he was a guru. We also remember him because of the great sacrifice he made. The great sacrifice that people who went with him to Aurangzeb made. They made that sacrifice, ਪਰ ਧਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਰਿਆ। ਧਰਮ ਨੂੰ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਸਵਾਸਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਿਭਾਇਆ। That is the significance of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. When I spoke to you about the achievement, about what was achieved by the martyrdom of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, I had said, he brought the Sikh Sangat together. What was it that was achieved with the martyrdom of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji? Guru Tegh Bahadur's martyrdom helped to make protection of religious rights central to the Sikh identity. The protection of not one's religious rights, the protection of all religious rights. Central to the Sikh identity. I'm sorry to say, but I must confess that I'm not a scholar on Sikh religion. So when this invitation came to me to speak about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and while I was preparing what I should speak to you, I happened to chance on something written in Encyclopedia Britannica about Guru Tegh Bahadur. So it's not our thought. The Encyclopedia Britannica recognizes him. It chronicles him as having given up his life for a religion which was not his own. What we can say about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is endless. May I say, as I conclude, never in history, never in the history of humanity has any leader of one religion consciously, जानबूझ के, sacrificed his life for the religious freedom of another religion. Never. It will never happen in future. Such was the will and the resolve of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. May I, while taking leave of you, once again thank you, and especially the Honorable Chief Minister, Capt. Amarinder Singh Ji, for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today. I am beholden to you to have invited me I am so grateful to you for your patience and your time. Thank you very much.
Now I would request His Excellency, the Governor of Punjab and Tamil Nadu, Shri Banwari Lal Purohit ji, to be pleased to address the August House on this auspicious occasion.
वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह। ऑनरेबल स्पीकर पंजाब विधानसभा श्री राणा केपी सिंह जी, ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ पंजाब कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह जी, ऑनरेबल चीफ जस्टिस, ऑनरेबल लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन, ऑनरेबल member of parliament, honorable member of Punjab cabinet, honorable members of Legislative Assembly of Punjab, officers, and my friends from media. I am deeply honored and privileged to address this August House on the occasion of the special assembly session summoned to mark the auspicious 400th Prakash Parv of the 9th Sikh Guru, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. His is the story of not just physical courage to stand tall and firm in adversity, but a great saga of upholding the banner of religion under extreme hostility and unwavering commitment to faith as a matter beyond what he called small issues of life and death. In other words, saga of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji offers the symbolism of highest sacrifice and the finest expression of spiritual faith. There he stood, taller than the tyrant who wanted to convert him to Islam. Death could never be the final destination for a man of faith. Angered by that steadfast refusal to budge, Mughal Emperor ordered Guru Tegh Bahadur to be beheaded. We are commemorating at this special session of the Legislative Assembly the 400th birth anniversary of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And by way of that, here we recommit ourselves to the cause of upholding of his ideals and teachings, no matter the odds, regardless of all temptations and resistance. And as we do this, we engage ourselves in recalling our country's great tradition of saints and spiritual leaders. We bow our heads in extreme surrender to the divine. His martyrdom is considered one of the most important turning points in the spiritual, religious, and political history of India. From time immemorial, when it comes to spiritual leadership, India has been a Vishwa Guru, a guiding light among nations. Punjab too is a land of gurus, saints and seers. Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji shines among the galaxy of great spiritual gurus, whose message continues to guide the humanity and remains universally relevant at all the times. The history of Punjab is full of selfless sacrifices made by the great gurus and martyrs who have always been a source of inspiration for all of us. Sikh gurus inspired us in an era that was perhaps the most challenging phase of our history. No one can forget the contribution of the Sikh gurus and their selfless sacrifices to strengthen the unity among different communities. Therefore, Sikh gurus are respected not only by Sikhs but also by people of all faiths across the world. Born in Amritsar in 1621, the ninth Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, was the son of Guru Hargobind Ji. Trained in religious scriptures, including the Vedas, the young man earned his name Tegh Bahadur when his honorable father saw his valor and swordsmanship in a battle against the Mughal army. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji came to be known as protector of all the people of the Hindu faith in the country. His growing influence became troublesome to the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, who somehow wanted Guruji to be punished. Aurangzeb was also engaged in forcibly converting the Hindus to the faith of Islam. During that drive, Aurangzeb captured as many as 500 Kashmiri Hindu Pandit people and presented them with the option of conversion or death. They urged Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji to help and protect them. Guruji assured them of all help. Sorry. His son, the young Gobind Rai, who later came to be known as the great Guru Gobind Singh Ji, urged the father to go to Delhi to meet the Mughal emperor personally to dissuade him from his vile campaign. Aurangzeb arrested him on the way to Delhi and then kept him in a fortress. He was offered all allurement to get converted to Islam, but Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was made of a different stuff and came to be known for his supreme sacrifice and refusal to bow down to tyranny and injustice of the Mughals. He went all the way from Sri Anandpur Sahib to Delhi to dissuade Aurangzeb from this religious imposition, but was beheaded by the Mughal emperor. Gurudwara Sheeshganj Sahib in Chandni Chowk, Delhi, marks the place of his execution. Guru Tegh Bahadur thus became the second Sikh Guru to be executed by the tyrant Mughal emperors. 70 years earlier, the fifth Guru, Arjan Dev Ji too, was executed on the bank of river Ravi. In front of Lahore fort by the then Mughal Emperor Jahangir. Both these martyrdoms have proved to be major turning points in Indian history. I pay my utmost tributes both to one of the greatest spiritual masters of India, Hindji Chaddar, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, an embodiment of humility, who transcended all barriers of caste, creed, race, religion, and gender. A poet, a thinker, a warrior, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji promoted the revelations of the purity and divinity, all the Sikh Gurus. We are all inspired by the supreme sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib and his universal teaching of peace and unity within the entire humanity. One of the key elements in the teaching of Guru Sahib has been the spirit of seva or selfless service. This is considered as one of the foremost pious duties that the mankind can perform, enriching us with selfless humility and gratitude towards God. The whole world is still faced with the challenges fighting the corona pandemic. In India, we had to face tragedies of immense magnitude. For families who lost their near and dear ones, the challenges of providing adequate health care facilities and vaccinating the entire population is still in front of us. During these trying times, it is the spiritual values and teaching of our gurus that guide us. We should always have faith in God. If you have faith in God from the bottom of the heart, you will never commit any sin, any wrongdoings. Because the moment you start doing some sin, committing some sin, if you are religious minded, your heart will tell you, nobody is watching, but He is watching. So that will save you, definitely save you. You will never commit any crime. So a man has to be religious, should have a faith in God. During these trying times, it is the spiritual values and teaching of our gurus that guide us. Let us continue to be inspired by such values of selfless seva in the discharge of our responsibilities as citizens. Doctors, nurses, municipal frontline workers, administrators and leaders in our fight against the pandemic. Let us on this sacred day rededicate ourselves to the philosophy of selfless service, to all that was the hallmark of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's teachings. Service has to be selfless. Particularly those who have been elected by the people with certain hope. Do the service, maximum service. For that, you should always remember sermons of Guru Tegh Bahadur. You will always do it selflessly. Let hatred and violence find no place in our thoughts and actions. May the sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji inspires us to unite all humanity into one common brotherhood. Thank you. Jai Hind.
ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਸਦਨ ਦੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਕੈਪਟਨ ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨ।
Honorable Governor Sahib, Shri Banwani Lal Purohit ji, Justice J.S. Kair ji, former Chief Justice of our country, Speaker Vidhan Sabha, Rana KP ji, Deputy Speaker Sardar Jayab Singh ji, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Brahmendra ji, Leader of our opposition Harpal Singh ji Chima, my colleagues, legislators of the Punjab Vidhan Sabha, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As always, sir, as you mentioned, Governor Sahib, it is very difficult to follow a brilliant speaker. And for me, I have to follow two speakers. And one, I think the exposition which I heard today by Justice Kair was absolutely brilliant. And all of us, certainly, I have learned so much from what you said today, and to follow you, sir, is an impossibility. What we are today talking about, the ninth Guru of ours, it is his 400th birth anniversary, Prakash Purab. ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਮੌਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਵਾਕਿਆਤ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ 350 ਸਾਲ 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਸੀ, 400 ਸਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਸੀ, ਹੁਣ ਐਤਕੀ 550 ਸਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦਾ, ਔਰ ਅੱਜ 400 ਸਾਲਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ। what history, what tradition, सब कुछ है। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਤੇ it would be a different country and a different world. Today, what was his message in his basic message was religious tolerance, and for religious tolerance ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਸੀਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ। And where is this message doesn't remain within the confines of our small Punjab. It goes to the entire nation and across the oceans to the other countries of this globe to understand a message which was given 400 years ago. Are they today following it, or what is happening in the world? Look north of us. The Chinese are destroying the Uyghur nation because they are Islamic and they want to maintain their independence. Next to them is Afghanistan. You have an emerging power which doesn't accept religious tolerance in any form. Go across to Africa and you see countries there, or the Middle East, you see countries there where today all this message of love and understanding and tolerance doesn't exist. And here, our ninth Guru, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib ne ਇਹ ਆਦੇਸ਼ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਸੈਂਕੜੇ ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ। So it is a pleasure for me today, sir, to extend to you on this very auspicious occasion as our governor my hearty welcome on behalf of the House. And it is almost providential that you have taken over at a time when the Punjab Vidhan Sabha is meeting in this special session to commemorate the 400th Prakash Purab of our Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib. It is now also my duty to welcome Justice J.S. Kair, which I have already mentioned about, Chief Justice of India, and we are all going to relive and in our own minds the brilliant speech that he gave this morning. Thank you for coming, sir. And thank you for giving this keynote address and sharing your thoughts with us, which has gone beyond many people, including myself, what you have put to us today. Sir, while the facts about the life and message of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib are generally known to most of us, let me take the liberty to share a few relevant details. Born in 1621, he was the youngest son of Shri Hargobind Sahib, our sixth Guru. He was not an heir to his father, for the Guruship went to his nephew Shri Guru Harai. He succeeded the eighth Guru, Shri Guru Harkrishna Sahib, after spent many years in a small settlement of Bakala near Amritsar, where he was finally located by Makhan Shah Ji. I would especially like to highlight two aspects about Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib's life. After the compilation of the Adi Granth, many poems and shloks penned by him were incorporated into our Guru Granth Sahib by his son Shri Guru Dasmi Pacha Gobind Singh Ji. The second aspect, which is sometimes less elaborated in popular discourse, is that of the first Guru. The ninth Guru was also a great traveler. He traveled across the breadth of the country, traversing Punjab, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, Assam, and modern Bangladesh. His son, Gobind Rai, later the 10th Guru, was born in Patna in December 1666. During his eastward travels, I am sure that his tours helped him experience the diversity of India and helped buttress his inclusive and pluralistic outlook, and gave him the idea that it was a diverse India, but an India which is Indian. Even today, look at our country. We are different religions, we are different castes, we are different creeds. We have Hindus, we have Muslims, we have Sikhs, we have Christians, we have Buddhists, we have Jainis, and yet, when the time comes, we all rise as Indians. And that is something which is Guru Sahib imbibed from his travels all over, that this is what India is all about. He also founded the town of, जैसे स्पीकर साहब ने कहा, चकनान की जरा ਹੁਣ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, a place represented by the speaker, as I said, which later became the birthplace of the Khalsa. And for me, it is a great honor that before the Battle of Anandpur Sahib, he sent a hukamnama to my ancestor to come and join the battle, which our ancestors did. And that hukamnama is a prized possession in our family today. He also, on the outskirts of Patiala, you have a fort. As you enter Patiala, there's a fort on our left. It was called Saifabad, and it was named after the local governor there, whose name was Saifuddin Khan. He became a disciple of Guru Tegh Bahadur, who came there, and eventually the Mughal governor of Sarhind removed him. And it was my ancestor. I don't want to repeat these things are not done, but it is part of history. My ancestor, Maharaja Amar Singh, named it Bahadurgarh, and later on his grandson, Maharaja Karam Singh, built a Gurdwara there where Naumi Padsha had come and stayed. Ladies and gentlemen, the faith in this is distinguished by the tradition of martyrdom, to uphold principles and righteousness given to us by our Gurus. It is here the history remembers that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was, as has been told to you today, with great pride as Hindadi Chadar, for making the supreme sacrifice for the opposing forced conversion and for the protection of religious freedom. And that is exactly what I said today. Is the world following it? Are we in this country following it? Do we have religious freedom? Are we able to express our views in the way that we wish and that is acceptable to all? I think India is growing, and yet this is a portion that needs to be strengthened. And so must it in the world. If we want world peace, we must have it. I mean, as I mentioned to you, there are places in the world where intolerance is the order of the day. You have people being killed because they belong to another religion. And that is unacceptable to what should be humanity. And I think that is what our gurus taught us. And here, wherever we are, whether I see when there's a crisis anywhere in the world, you see Sikh organizations coming forward to help. Whether it is a fire or a flood or anything else happens, you see them coming out to help. Now that is all imbibed in us from the teachings of our gurus. And we have already, the Governor Sahib mentioned to you, Bhai Mati Das ji, Bhai Sati Das ji, Bhai Dayal ji, Das ji, कुर्बानियां उन्होंने दित्तियां एंड नौवें पातशाह शीश दिता पर सिर ना दिता. It goes above my head. His head was carried by another associate, Bhai Jeevan Singh ji, Bhai Jeta ji, जिन्हां नूं जाणदे असीं, to the Guru son, that was then Guru Dasਵੇਂ Paatshah Gobind Singh ji, from Delhi to Anandpur Sahib. On this occasion, let us pay special tribute to the remarkable bravery and courage of Bhai Jeta ji also. History will always remember him whenever we speak of this tragic event. The relevance, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib's life as an embodiment of sacrifice and standing for one's principles, giving his life but not changing his religion. And he wrote that in advance, and he sent it to the Mughal emperor, as we were told. His supreme sacrifice to uphold the cause of Kashmiri Pandits who feared religious persecution in the Mughal Empire, a unique example in Indian history, for he was unwavering in his percept and faith. His sacrifice was important 3.5 years ago, and it is as relevant today as I've already mentioned. India has its unique cultural tradition, and when we call Indianness, this is the idea of India. Our ancient Indian philosophy tells us, texts have espoused the idea of Vasudeva Kutambakam. The world is one family. Similarly, in the Sikh faith, we have the concept of Sarbatapala, welfare of the entire humanity. It was to uphold the right of people of this land to peacefully follow the faith of their choice that Guru Sahib gave his Shahadat. And by doing so, he set a unique example in history of sacrificing his life, which was taken in a most gruesome and torturous manner. India continues to be a pluralistic country, which has the unique distinction of being home to almost every faith in the world. This is what gives India its richness and cultural diversity. The slogan that we often hear and talk about, unity in diversity, is not a hollow or empty slogan. It carries a deep meaning which must be understood and internalized by all of us. We can pay our greatest tribute to Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib if we all imbibe his universal message of love and religious tolerance and freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, and my colleagues, the life and message of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji lies at the heart of what we have come to be regarded as Punjabiyat. It comprises our Sanji Tehzeeb, our Ma Boli Punjabi, our close ties of amity and fraternity cutting across people, faiths, castes, and communities. The essence of the Punjabiyat needs to be understood, appreciated, and nurtured carefully. The spirit of Punjabiyat has been taken by our people to all corners of the globe, where they have made a special place for themselves through dint of hard work, enterprise, and sacrifice. Speaker Sahib, this Punjabiyat often is tested by forces that represent a narrow and short-sighted perspective as against the broad, all-embracing vision given to us by our gurus. It is our bounden duty as representatives of the people to guard against such inimical forces very consciously and not to allow our competing political interests to ever undermine the strong foundations of this Punjabi. Politics has its place, but Punjabiyat has its own place. The 400th Prakash Purab of the 9th Guru should help us renew our pledge and to show the people the right path as their rightful leaders and representatives. I trust through this August House we can once again reiterate this message of universal peace and brotherhood on this historic occasion. We have planned to celebrate this occasion very gloriously as we have done in the past. Unfortunately, this surge of COVID cases made us restricted. I hope things will cool down on that front and that we will be able to do various things which we are planning. I can tell you we are going to have the functions of at Shri Anandpur Sahib and Baba Bakala, the exhibition on the life and teachings of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, exhibition of handicrafts, Punjabi Literary Festival, drama Hind Di Chadar, sports events, multimedia light and sound shows, Sufi music festivals. And I'm hopeful that with the blessings of the Vaheguru, that we will be able to fulfill most of these events, even though COVID continues to cast its shadow. And there's a strong possibility of the cases increasing again this October. God willing, it now doesn't happen, but the way things are going, one never knows. But nevertheless, we will continue to celebrate this occasion as best as we can within the framework of the rules that will exist at that moment. Infrastructure projects for major towns associated with Guru Sahib are already underway. We have upgraded the historic place of Baba Bakala from a Gram Panchayat into a municipal town. Special plans are afoot to improve the infrastructure of Anandpur Sahib. 103 Charan Show Prapt places have been identified by Guru Sahib actually visited. There are 79 villages and 24 towns. And we have given rupees 50 lakhs per village for its internal development in some form as they think best, and 1 crore per town for something to be developed there in his memory. We have established the Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur University of Law in Taran district, the first university ever in Punjab, and we are very proud to have announced it just recently. Government has released a commemorative stamp on the occasion. The state government has also released commemorative gold and silver coins on this occasion, and we are conserving and developing the old jail at Basi Patana, where Guru Sahib is reported to have been kept imprisoned on his way to Delhi. I am happy to share that we have already planted more than 1.3 crore saplings in the two Gurpurab celebrations that took place this year, which will be hugely beneficial to Punjab's environment in the long run. We have also forwarded a memorandum to the Prime Minister, a grant to ask for a grant of 938 crore for various infrastructure projects in the state. As I conclude, sir, let me say how humbled I feel as being part of this august house and our collective effort in paying tribute to our great Guru. The presence of Justice K. remained amidst us, and the message sent by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who could not join us today but has sent his blessings, add to the stature of today's session. I am happy that the Government of India has also decided to observe this historic occasion in a befitting manner. The state government will also do its best to take the message of the great Guru to not only across the country, but also to different parts of the globe where we have followers settled today. I don't think there's any country in the world where you don't have Punjabis settled today. The message of Guru Sahib is universal and deserves to be disseminated to the humanity at large. Speaker Sahib, I send my heartfelt greetings to the people of the state and to my fellow Punjabis settled in different parts of India and the world. And I pray that Akal Purkh may bless our state and its people and the humanity with peace, good health, happiness, and keep us forever in Chardi Kala. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Jai Hind.
ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਧਿਰ ਦੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਪਾਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਉੱਘੀਆਂ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਅਵਸਰ ਤੇ ਸੰਬੋਧਨ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਫਤਿਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਹਿੰਦ ਦੀ ਚਾਦਰ ਨੌਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ 400 ਸਾਲਾ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਪੁਰਬ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਰਪਿਤ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ, ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਅਤੇ ਤਾਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦੇ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਰਾਜਪਾਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬਨਵਾਰੀ ਲਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਹਿਤ ਜੀ, ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਕੈਪਟਨ ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਸਾਬਕਾ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਚੀਫ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਜਗਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਖੇਹਰ ਜੀ ਅਤੇ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਵਿਧਾਨ ਸਭਾ ਦੇ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਰਾਣਾ KP ਜੀ, डिप्टी स्पीकर अजैब सिंह पट्टी जी, पार्लीमेंटरी मिनिस्टर ब्रह्म महिंद्रा जी, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਣ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੀਮਤੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਵੈਲਿਊਏਬਲ, ਬੜੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੌਲੇਜੇਬਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦੀਆਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਸ ਅਗਸਤ ਹਾਊਸ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀਮਾਨ ਜੀ, ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਹਿੰਦ ਦੀ ਚਾਦਰ ਕਹੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੇ ਬੜੇ ਵਿਆਪਕ ਅਰਥ ਹਨ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੇ 4 ਉਦਾਸੀਆਂ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਅਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰਕ ਫੇਰੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਮਕਸਦ ਸੀ ਲੁਕਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਮ ਕਾਂਡਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਨਾ ਸੀ। ਦੂਜਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਾਸਕ ਔਰੰਗਜ਼ੇਬ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਅਤਿਆਚਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਰੁੱਧ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਬੁਲੰਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੀ। ਢਾਕਾ, ਬੰਗਾਲ ਤੱਕ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਫੇਰੀਆਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹਿੰਦ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਤੀਰਥ ਸਥਾਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਗਏ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਸੀ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਬਾਲਤਾ ਦਾ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਨਾ ਕੇਵਲ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼, ਸਗੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਲਾਸਾਨੀ ਬਲੀਦਾਨ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਥਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਭਾਇਆ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਚਾਂਦਨੀ ਚੌਕ ਸਥਿਤ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਸੀਸਗੰਜ ਵਿਖੇ ਹਰ ਆਦਮੀ ਬਗੈਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਭੇਦਭਾਵ ਦੇ, ਬਗੈਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਾਤ ਪਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਮੱਖ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਤਮਸਤਕ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਲੰਘਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਤਮਸਤਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਅੱਜ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਸਾਰਥਕ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਸਕ ਦੇ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਵੀ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ ਹਨ, ਕਰਮਕਾਂਡ ਵੀ ਚਰਮ ਸੀਮਾ ਤੇ ਹਨ, ਜਾਤ ਪਾਤ, ਊਚ ਨੀਚ, ਸਮਾਜਿਕ ਬਰਾਬਰਤਾ ਦਾ ਖੱਪਾ ਵੱਧ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪਸੀ ਸਦਭਾਵਨਾ, ਆਪਸੀ ਸਮਾਜਿਕ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ ਵੀ ਚੁਣੌਤੀਆਂ ਭਰਿਆ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਪਵੇਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੱਲ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰਧਾਰਾ ਹੈਗੀ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰਧਾਰਾ ਚੱਲਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੱਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤਾਂ, ਜਸਟਿਸ ਖੇਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੈਲਿਊਏਬਲ ਸੁਝਾਅ, ਬੜੀਆਂ ਅੱਛੀਆਂ ਟੀਚਿੰਗਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਕੈਪਟਨ ਅਮਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਸਪੀਕਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਜਿੰਨੇ ਆਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਨੇ, ਆਫੀਸਰ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ, ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਤੋਂ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸੱਜਣ ਆਏ ਨੇਗੇ, ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਬੁਲਾਓ ਫਤਿਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Now I would request all present to rise for the national anthem. ਮੈਂ ਸਦਨ ਦੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਦਨ ਦੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਕਾਰਵਾਈ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ 1 ਵਜੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੁਪਹਿਰ ਮੁੜ ਇਕੱਤਰ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ।